morning. All right. To get started for today, you really do need to know your Destiny Palace. All right. Where it is at. So there's two ways you can plot the chart. Okay. I would suggest you use IntuChi Power app, right? Because it's a very useful app. It's free. You can scan a QR code here and download it on Apple Store, or you can get it on Google Play itself. The QR code is here. You can scan that. Fantastic app. I love it because it's on my mobile. Everywhere I go, I can just get information that I want. Okay. The other one is a free site by Joey Yap. All right. So it's actually a free plotter. You can follow the link here. Okay, follow the link here. Wendy would drop that into the chat and also into the Facebook Live group so that you can plot it right now, because we need to have a look right at your Qimen Destiny Palace. That's very important for today's session. All right, so please do that right now, if not. Okay. All right, so monthly chart, really, why are we interested in looking at the monthly chart? So a huge part of what we do with you guys, right? A huge part of what we do with you guys is that we have you come on to our monthly strategizing meeting. So those of you who have yet to book a one-on-one course with us, please make sure you're booked in already so that we can get you started on September itself. All right, so we can get you started on September itself. But looking at the monthly charts, it's very important because it allows you to understand what is available in the coming month. Okay, you can better plan your time. So what gets planned actually gets executed. Okay, this is something that I thoroughly believe, because I'm a rainwater, so you can expect me to be like everywhere. So I really need something very structured. And throughout my journey with Chinese metaphysics, especially the Qimen chart, I love it because it's so dynamic and so flexible. I can almost choose just that 1 or 2 hours that I want to work for the day and make sure that all my work get done during that time. All right, so I love to use the Qimen charts, right? So we will be looking at mainly the monthly charts itself so that you get an idea what are the prevailing energies available in the month of September and whether you want to use it. Okay, so this is the year chart. All right, so you know Qimen is actually a time mapping kind of a tool, right? It maps for you, it captures for you the information about time, space, and energy itself. So other than the monthly chart, there is also the daily chart, there's also the hourly chart, right? And most importantly, every year, there is, of course, the year chart. Oh no, this is the September. Where's the year chart? Hey, Wendy, I thought we had a year chart somewhere. Oh, sorry. I think she had hidden it somewhere, but I was going to talk a little bit about the year. Are you going to pull out the year chart for me? Yes. Before you really look into the month, and before you look into the day, and before you even look into the hour for forecasting or checking what are the prevailing energies for that moment, right? Most of us will forget about the year chart, isn't it? So after Chinese New Year, we kind of like forget about the year chart. Right? After the year, we kind of like, after Chinese New Year, you kind of like look at your own sector and then you go, oh, okay, that's it, right? That's all happening for me for 2023. And then you tend to forget about it. So not many people actually revisit the 2023 chart. Not many people actually revisit the year chart. But I like to look at the year chart because sometimes the year chart will give you some indications, some messages. Okay, so you want to know what is like the global, I wouldn't say global, but what is the yearly wind blowing right at that time? Okay, other than right, directly going into the month chart, look into the year chart first. So we are here right now, right, in the west sector, because that is where the rooster lives, right? This is the rooster month, so this is where the rooster is. Okay. If you look at this energy here, it kind of like, oh dear, right? And we know that rooster clashes with the rabbit, right? The Kui Mao sits here, clashes with it. Okay, they call it a year breaker. Okay, they call it a year breaker. So traditionally, a lot of people, a lot of practitioners, they will say, oh, it's not a very good month to really undertake important activities, so on and so forth. But you're talking about 30 days in a month. So how can all 30 days really be bad? So really, if you want to look at the Qimen chart, then you need to see what other messages there is there. So if I were to look at it, I don't think the rooster month is going to be all that bad, right? All that bad, because it is actually countering countering the wood palace, right? Opposite of it. Okay. So it means that the rooster or whoever has a rooster should really probably take charge this month to go and do something. Okay. This is my own interpretation. All right. And the rooster, and sorry, and the rabbit, is the rabbit going to be very frightened this month? Not really. Okay. Not really. Of course, we know that the rooster and a monkey is a clash. So I was just telling Wendy earlier on, the little rabbit doesn't really have to be worried, because if you're thinking about it happening tomorrow, okay, so tomorrow is a snake day. So we know rooster and snake, they are 2 out of 3 trilogy of good friends. So they would be busy looking for the ox to come in to play with them. So maybe the rooster may let go of the rabbit this month, right? It wouldn't be so difficult on the rabbit this month when the rabbit meets with the rooster. So this is what I think it's going to be, but that is more on Bazi itself, right? So just looking at the Qimen energy here, we want to look at the West, right? So what do we actually see in the West? All right. Okay, so what I would see firstly is, of course, the Geng sits there, right? But the Geng actually comes with the Yi. All right. So if the troublemaker is there, and if his wife is there, it's not likely he's going to create a bit scene. Okay, not likely he's going to go into any hooligan play at all, because his wife is there. So I think this is kind of like well taken care of. But there is surely a fear door sitting there. Okay, and the hexagram, which is of course not shown here, the hexagram for the 2023 in the West is actually what we call arriving. So arriving means you have not even kind of like got there at all. Okay, so if you haven't got there at all, you have to find out literally like what is the trouble that you might have that's keeping you in fear, that's blocking you from arriving at where you need to go. All right, so again, 5 months more to 2024. This could be a good time for you to like sit down and think about what my end game in 2023 is going to be, or even in fact start on thinking what my 2024 game plan is going to be like. See if you're on the right track, where you want to go. Are you on the right track? Are you arriving on the right track? Do I know exactly what are the scenic route ahead, or the treacherous road ahead of me? Who are the people there that can actually assist me? Do I have a shortcut somewhere? Do I have a nobleman somewhere? Is this even the journey that I want to be on? So these are the things that perhaps you can literally consider, okay, in this month. All right. And yeah, so this is something you want to look at, right? And of course, we talk about the rabbit being here, and a lot of other things you can look at as well. So what is producing into the rooster month, right, will be this Southwest Palace and also the Northeast Palace itself. Okay, so you can see actually the chief is there, life door is there, so there's going to be profits in whatever you want to do. And the tiger is there, so the tiger has this courage, tenacity, resilience, the strength, to carry out what problem solving things that you need to, because you see the problem is here, but you also see the death door. Okay, you also see the death door. So you have to kind of like figure out at this moment, in order for you to get to the West Palace, what do you need to change? Because death door always means changing. Okay, what do you need to change? Right? So suggest that it's a good time for you to think ahead. All right, but remember, in the same palace, the chief sits there too. So the chief, we're talking about authority, we're talking about noble person, the noble person. We also refer the chief to something expensive, right? Opportunities are there. Okay, so this is how I would kind of look at the 2023 chart, right? And give you just an overall aspects on what everyone should be looking out for, not just if you have West as your destiny palace. But everyone, that's the general prevailing energy for September itself. Okay, right. So I'm just going to move on. Okay, so this is the September month itself. Okay, so if you look at the year chart, then West itself doesn't look so happening, right? But if you look at the specific September month energy, then West is obviously a very beautiful place to be in, right? It's obviously a very, very beautiful place to be in. Why? Because you have beautiful formations here, right? You have beautiful formations here, right? And it's a lot of things you can do. But before I go into that, I want to just mention again how we would use the energies of this Qimen chart. For those of you who have got no idea at all what to do with this September chart, let's just, let me slow down a little bit and we'll just go from the basic. Okay, so you need to know, firstly, your Destiny Palace, right? If you use the IntuChi app, this is where the Destiny Palace, right? We've highlighted that. That's where your Destiny Palace is in the north. If you use the Joey Up free plotter, then Wendy has chose this example where the Destiny Palace is now in the east. Okay, so they're not the same person, right? Just an example here. So how to identify where the Destiny Palace are is actually, you can see it from the indication here in red. It says destiny. Okay, it says destiny here. So once you know your Destiny Palace, right, what you want to do is you want to remember, right, that is your Destiny Palace. So as I go through the 8 different palaces, okay, as I go through the 8 different palaces, you want to firstly hear about what I say about your Destiny Palace. Okay, so for example, mine is the south. Okay, so the next slide, we're going to talk about south. So I should be very concerned about south because that is where my Destiny Palace is. Okay, so what appears in that monthly chart in south applies to me. I'm literally that person that is walking this south energy. Get it? I'm literally the person that's walking this south energy. Okay. The second way you can actually use it is this, right? Use what is available in your Destiny Palace. Or if you say, for example, I mentioned earlier on that West looks fantastic this month and you want to use the West energy. So by all means, you can connect to the West. How? By simply having the West behind of you. Okay, having the West behind of you when you are doing your priming, when you're doing your manifesting, when you are doing whatever activities, right, that you want to tap into for the West energy, you can use that. Okay, if West is not your Destiny Palace, you can do that. But in order to really make full use of the West energy, you must be a person who already have some idea of how to connect with the deities. So always I would suggest, right, when you're starting out, to start off with your Destiny Palace first, your own personal guardian deity first, okay? Because Qimen language is such that if you're born in the south, you must learn the Southern slang first, right? Like in Singapore, right, in primary school, we have 2 main language. One would be English, that's our first language, and then we have our mother tongue, because by birth you should know that. Okay, and then when we reach to 13 years old, and we offered the option of doing a third language. So sometimes you can opt for Japanese, French, German, Spanish, but before you can learn that, you need to be, one of the admitting criteria is always if you have good grades in your mother tongue first. So similarly, it's like this, okay? So speak your own language for your palace first before you try the others. So do not stop connecting with your deity no matter what the monthly chart says. Okay, I would say carry on always to do your connection with your guardian deity in your Destiny Palace until you are so sure what is happening, until you feel you're vibrating at a very good level and that your manifesting level has gone up, then by all means, try the other palaces. That is what I would tell you guys to do. Okay, so this is how you can use it. All right. So let's look at this. All right, let's start with the South. Wendy put the South because that is my destiny palace. Okay, so when I looked at the South this month, or when I look at the September month, I was going, in Cantonese, we say what? Say law. Say law. Everything black. Okay, everything, but okay, lah, we have this, we have the E-noble sitting there. Okay, so it's the blackest of all. And so I put up this Instagram post the other day on my stories. I said that, all is not as good or as bad as you think or as you see. So at first glance, it will look really quite scary, isn't it? But, don't forget that Qimen is very dynamic. It's very dynamic. So I want to look into the South and see what message there is for me. Okay, I want to see what message there is for me. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 7-star tiger. So we have a 7-star tiger sitting in there. So tiger is what? Courage, tenacity, resilience, strength. All right. Strength to do what? Strength to, left door is there. Strength to change. Okay. You have the strength to change. I would say that. Okay. To end things, to change something that you don't want to address. You need to address that right now, okay? And what is the weather forecast? The weather forecast here, you have the grain, right? Remember, I always say the heavenly star is the weather forecast, right? You cannot see what the market forecast or the weather forecast is. You look at the heavenly star, right? So what do we have here? Grain. And when I see that, I was like thinking, okay, this is really addressing me because I really resonate to what the South is telling me, right? My health hasn't been so good. My health really hadn't been so good. Okay. So I know the September month is the month for me to address this. I need to end something. Isn't it? Right? To address my health. All right. Grain can also mean masses of people. Okay, masses of people. So it may not necessarily be referring to health. So if you have your destiny palace in the South and you have no health issues, then what you probably want to end is probably how would I say and certain things, right? That has to do with the masses of people. All right. So, but for me, okay, so maybe you want to change a group of people or change the ideal of the ideas of certain people, right? Maybe you want to change your audience or your market or something. Okay, the people that you're talking to, the mass group of people that you're talking to, maybe you want to change that. But for me, I will surely use it for my health because my health hasn't been so good, right? So I'm going to use this month to actually end some bad habits, right? Because I know that if I lose a few kilos, right, my health is surely going to improve, right? Less pressure on my heel, so my heel spur doesn't hurt so much. So these are some of the things that I would do. Okay, so tomorrow at a chosen time, I will back south. I will call the tiger, and I want to tell the tiger I want to have the ability to change this health aspect of mine. I want to get back to my healthy weight. I want to seek another opinion on how to stop the pain in my heel spur. Right, so that's probably what I will say. Okay, so it's really not so bad if you look at it. South really not so bad. Okay, really not so bad. So this is what I would say about the South. Okay, if I look at the Southwest itself, all right, Southwest itself. So you have the harmony here. You have the harmony, and of course you have the two beautiful noble person, right? The two out of three nobles is here. So what you have here is actually the pillar and also the fear door. Okay, so you know that harmony deity is about collaboration, isn't it? It's about collaboration. Okay, and pillar is about communication. So what would you want to do? You want to collaborate with somebody to speak on what? Speak on something that addresses people's pain point, or speak on certain issues that people doesn't want to face, whatever problems that people might have, right? It's a common issue in your target audience or your target market, right? So I would think it's like that. And you also have the very healing the wood here, and then the thing fire, which is a, what do you call them, a guiding light, isn't it? A candle light in the dark, isn't it? So you probably want to collaborate with somebody to speak about certain issues that's going to help people walk out from the darkness. Yeah, probably that is there, right? So again, I would say the Geng is there, but no problem because the wife is around. So the troublemaker will be kept in check, okay? So not much of a problem at all. The next one, we'll look at the West. So the West will be the most beautiful sector out of all the rest. This is one of the beautiful sector that I would want to use, all right? I will want to use. So yesterday at Mindy's class, we talked a little bit about the West, right? So I think with it's a beautiful sector for the month. You have, of course, the moon, right? With okay, it's the 3-star moon. I was looking at the other chart and I was getting a 7-star moon. Maybe we'll double check on that. Okay. So you have the beautiful moon here. Okay, which means that the Wi-Fi is actually quite strong for you to download information and also to pass on knowledge, okay? Because the moon wants to learn and the moon wants to give out knowledge, okay? The moon needs to learn and the moon needs to give out knowledge on what it has learned. So this sector is fantastic for you to actually look deep inside of you, right? There's a lot of the opportunities there, right? To acquire new wisdom, to help you open up this kind of opportunities, right? The heart is there, so it means you need to upgrade your skill, your mastery, your knowledge mastery in certain things, right? Heaven Tune is great for using to gain clarity, to actually gain clarity. So West is a good month for you to back, right? If you want to have that clarity. Real deception is also a very good structure, a very good formation for you to kind of like make real what is hidden, or make real what you are visualizing or what you really want. Okay, right? So this is and the structures itself, right? This is the West, very fantastic energy to be using. All right. So the next one we'll look at will be the Northwest. Okay, this one is the Northwest. So what do we have in the Northwest? You see the deity, which is the snake. Okay, the snake is here. The Restor is here. Okay, and so you have the horse star is also here. So it's very fast paced, right? It's a very fast paced thing. It's a very strong Restor here, and you have the grass. So grass literally means entrepreneurship, right? So people who have this in the Northwest, right, you want to look for entrepreneurship opportunities that has got relation to what is the Restor about. So Restor, we're talking about at home, we're talking about rejuvenation, we're talking about healing, we're talking about like spa, we're talking even about bedroom activities, right? Anything that's relating to that. We're talking about things, that has to do with you enhancing your well-being. Okay, because rest is the action telling you to kind of like slow down, enjoy a little bit, right? And rest and rejuvenate yourself. So it's a healing kind of a activity. So there are opportunities for you to go in there and to look for it. And it's very fast and powerful because you have the hot star there. Okay. All right. And in the north, we have this thing called the chief in there, right? And then the ambassador, and then of course the life door itself, all right? The life door itself with the envoy. So it seems like fantastic sector to be using, but take note that it's actually in DE. Okay, it's actually in void. Okay, it's actually in void, but because the envoy is there, so you can kind of like say that it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, so when it comes to the chief, right, the chief of course means the noble person. The chief means the authority. The chief means the power. He's the protector of all. He's the one that grants you all your wishes. And what is the market or the weather forecast like? It's about money. It's about money, right? Ambassador is about money. Okay, so we're talking about possibility of money energy, right, in the north, although it's in void, right? But there is envoy, so it kind of like still not too bad to use, right? we're talking about money being available because the life door is there. The life door is there, right? Not strong because it's in DE, but still okay to use. So people with the North, right, this month, they have the ability to get money, okay? But it has to be expensive stuff. It has to be through expensive things. Like, for example, if you're a coach, right, you're a life coach, then you would be launching your high ticket items. Okay, if you have North in your sector, because you want to launch your high-end product here, right? Wealth can only be gotten through these people or somebody who has power or someone who has authority. Okay, someone who has authority, right? So this is good, okay, because if you're looking at it's a 4-star chief here, right? But I was looking at the other chart earlier on when I was doing up my notes, and it actually says 3-star, right? So that kind of level of deities, right? The energy to get you your own personal agenda is actually very strong. Okay, so sometimes you don't use the high level deities to get the stuff you want, because the high level deities are so much about my energy is about transforming the world, doing the good for people. So if you're looking for a deity to be helping you with your own personal agenda, then a lower level deity is actually easier to use. Okay, right, just extra tips for you guys. Okay, so if you look at the Northeast, let's come to the Northeast now. Okay, in the Northeast, you have, of course, the heaven, right? Heaven is about visualization. Heaven is about having that vision, seeing where you want to be. Okay, seeing where you want to be. So this is a good time again, right? Because we are saying that earlier on, before I started, I was really saying that September month is going to be a month where you need to take a pause. You want to take a pause, and then you want to look at your end goal, and then you want to assess whether your journey there is achievable or whether you are on the right track to it. So then again, if you have Northeast as your destiny palace, then firstly, right, because it's about visualization, you need to be extremely clear about this goal of yours. Okay, about this goal of yours. So it's a good time to revisit your 2023 goals, right? Firstly, to identify what is it, where is it that you are at. Okay. And then next, find out where do you want to get to. That's your end goal, right? What are the blockages along the way? Do you know what kind of trap, booby trap? You see the Koi water here? The Koi water here means trap, right? Did you set up any booby traps for yourself? Okay, feel it, feel that outcome that you want. Okay, it's not so much, it's not really enough for the 9 heavens. I mean, this is my personal interpretation now, okay, because I thoroughly believe that, you know, the go-getter actually comes from your feeling, right? Not that conscious part of you, but the subconscious part of you actually helps you get your goal. Okay, so not only must you be able to see your future materializing, you must be able to feel it. Because as long as you are feeling that feeling every day, when you have, you know, the feeling of achieving your goal every day, right? It's like as if you are drawing yourself closer and closer to that goal. Okay, so identify that feeling when you are visualizing about your end goal for 2023, what it is and what it feels like. Okay, and then you want to vibrate in that feeling every day. Okay, vibrate in that feeling every day, especially for those who's using 9 heavens, who have 9 heavens in the Northeast Destiny Palace. That's what you need to do. Okay, so take note, of course, the market energy, right? The weather forecast is destruction. Destruction is really fast. Harm is also a very actionable thing, very quick, right? Because you need to go out and hunt, but you can't, you won't really be doing that. Why? Because again, you are in the void. There is a DE, so it slows down the motion of what you want to do. Plus, there is probably a booby trap there. Okay, so you may slow things down a little bit, but no harm understanding it. Okay, no harm understanding it, and at least do your visualization. Okay, if you can't get your actual work done because of all these other prevailing energies, then at least get your visualization done. At least get your vibrational feeling put out there to the universe, so the universe knows that that is what you want. Okay, are you guys seeing this? Yes. Okay, and so in the east, all right, and so in the east we have this. The east, you have the Night Earth sitting there, okay, with the assistant star, okay, and when I see, I would also always look for where the cash is, okay. I would also look for where the cash is, right? So this one actually denotes cash flow. Okay, and of course there's a delusion door here. There's a delusion door here. So this is a closed door, right? A closed door not being seen. So usually we would say stay at home. All right, stay at home, probably at home. And when you have the assistant star depicting the energy, what does that mean? Study, stay at home and study. Okay, literally staying at home and study, right? So the assistant star here means with the delusional means you want to stay at home and study. And what to study? I would say maybe finance, right? I would say finance. For me, it would be finance, right? For me, it would be looking at the money, right? The psychology behind money, right? Because my career palace is also in the east, right? My career palace is also in the east. So just to elaborate a little bit more, September month, right? You guys already know that we are going to be doing our Happy Money Bootcamp 2, reformularized. I'm going to add in new stuff in there. So I'm actually doing a lot more research and upskilling, to see what materials I want to take out, what materials I want to put in. So studying for Happy Money, right? To literally present to you guys by the end of the September month, right? So Happy Money Bootcamp starting on 30th September. We'll send out the registration link soon to you guys for you to register. 2 days event, so please block out that 2 days itself. All right. Some of you have attended it the last round already, and we had such a good time talking about the energy of money, right? Right. Remember, opening up our Happy Money account, right? So I want to hear you guys talk about what's happening in your Happy Money account, whether you have manifested that extra zero or not with the with the technique that I taught you guys. Okay, let's see. I'm very interested to find out when that happens. Okay, so this is what's going to be happening in the East, right? Assistant study at home. Okay, about what? I would study about money. All right, I would study about money. Let's see what is in the Southeast. All right, and then we'll cover all the 8 sectors itself already. Okay, so in the Southeast, you have the hero and the scenery door. Okay, hero and scenery door literally means what? Literally means you are attention grabbing this month. Okay, attention grabbing in this month. Plus, you have the deity, the black tortoise thing in there. So the black tortoise is the influencer, is the mind reader, mind reality bender. Okay, right? The reality bender. So the tortoise, it's surely can influence, right? Definitely a KOL, right? And you are talking about having the hero and scenery star, you're literally going to be famous this month. So be the influencer that you're supposed to be if you have Southeast in your sector, right? For those of you who do not have Southeast in your destiny palace, right? Remember what I say, how you can tap into this energy is you can have Southeast behind you, okay, and do your social media posts if you want to. Okay, that's going to help tremendously as well. All right, but before you are able to be good with this kind of tapping into this kind of energy, you of course have to continue your connection with your guardian deity as well. Okay, continue your connection with your guardian deity, so your vibrational level is a bit higher and you're able to tap into a foreign country or learn a different language, right? Speaking it in a foreign country, something like that. Okay, so I will look at it as this, right? Tortoise being the total social media influencer with the hero and scenery door. So the tortoise will look good. The tortoise will be convincing, right? It's a good time for you to convince others, okay? People with the Southeast, right? Or if you need to be convincing others, then you want to use Southeast to tap into the energy of your audience, right? The market that you serve, find out about what they want, right? Do a little bit of channeling to find out what they want, and then go get it and give it to them. Okay, so this is what you want to be doing. Okay, tapping into this energy. Okay, and of course the world is there, so cash is there. All right, cash is there. All right. Okay, and then of course we have the fire hexagram. So with the fire hexagram, we're talking about something that's very aligned to 2024 to period 9 energy. So this is the month for you to be very, very influential.